Hi kids, and welcome to our new Kids Church program here at Freedom Kids. We are going on safari. Have you ever been on a safari, Adrian?
No.
Would you like to?
Yeah.
What sort of things would you like to see if you went on a safari?
Dinosaurs.
I don't think there's dinosaurs in Africa.
Okay. How about elephants?
Elephants would be really cool.
Giraffes.
Giraffes.
And lions.
I reckon a lion would be pretty awesome to see.
That would be cool.
Now, you know, the cool thing about safaris is they're an adventure. And just like going on a safari is an adventure, so is our life with God. When we enter into a relationship with Him, we get to go on an adventure too. But He provides us with a guide for that adventure. Do you know what that is?
Yoda.
This isn't Star Wars. God is not Yoda.
Oh. Google Maps.
Well, you're getting a little bit closer, but no.
Really?
See, God does provide us a map, but it's in the form of a Bible. And see, the Bible teaches us how to live and which way to go, but mostly through stories. So do you have a favourite story in the Bible?
The story of David, yes.
Yeah, why's that?
Because even though he was really little, he did some really big things.
Yeah, he did.
Really big. He became a king, you know.
He did. He was a king.
Mm-hmm. And he had the David and Goliath story.
Now that was a pretty big story.
It's a very big story. Everyone knows that. Yep. And also he survived all these assassins coming after him and trying to kill him before he became king.
He did?
I think he's a ninja. Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favourite story?
I think I really like the story of Esther. I don't know if you've read about Esther, but she became queen and she saved her entire nation by being bold and obeying what God had called her to do. I think that's pretty cool. And I think that's pretty encouraging that if God calls us to do something and we do it, that we can see really big things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of her. She did some big things.
She did. And there's some funny stories in the Bible too.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a talking donkey.
Wow. Like in Shrek.
Like in Shrek.
Does he sing?
No, he doesn't sing.
Yeah.
And there's dinosaurs.
Like in Job 41. There is. Look it up.
And a man gets swallowed by a big fish and spends 3 days in the belly of a big, stinky fish.
I think you'd smell like fish food forever.
They probably would. There's so many funny stories and good stories in the Bible, but all of them work together to give us a guide on how and where we should go. You see, the Bible is made up of two parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Testament is all the stories about God's people and who God is and His laws. And then the New Testament is when Jesus comes in and it teaches us, like what we learnt about last week with our Easter stories, about what Jesus did and how that affects our walk as well. And you know, there's a good song to help us remember the books of the Bible, all 66 of them. So why don't you watch this video?
Let's learn the books of the Bible. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers and Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job and Psalms and Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Songs. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible because we love God's Word. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel and Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. You did it! That's the Old Testament. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible because we love God's Word. You guys are doing great, but let's speed it up for the New Testament. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Acts and Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians and Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus and Philemon. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible because we love God's Word. Let's keep going, everybody. Hebrews and James. Hebrews, James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, Jude and Revelation. Oh yeah, we did it! That's the New Testament. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible. We're gonna learn the books of the Bible because we love God's Word. Now we know the books of the Bible. Now we know the books of the Bible. Now we know the books of the Bible because we love God's Word. Because we love God's Word.
Jumbo Rafikis! That means hello, friends.
I'm up.
And I'm Adam.
Boy, oh boy, Adam. We sure are a long way from the farm.
Yeah, we're on a safari.
Woo! Hey, Adam, you want to see an awesome trick?
I'd love to.
Okay.
Love a good trick.
Okay. You're
You
gonna
just
take these bananas.
have bananas in your pockets all the time?
Yeah.
in case
You
you
never
gotta
know
do a
when you're
trick
gonna
or
need
something?
bananas.
Got it.
And then we're gonna stack them.
This
Like
was the
this.
amazing trick?
And
Not so...
that's amazing.
That is amazing. But do you want to know something even more amazing than that?
What could be more amazing than those mad skills?
The Bible! Of course! So, on our safari, we're going to be learning all kinds of great things about God's Word.
The Bible.
Did you know that the Bible is the #1 selling book of all time, worldwide? Seriously, it's #1.
Sadly, some people just think the Bible is some boring book collecting dust on the shelf.
What? That's cray-cray.
I know, right? The Bible is the most amazing book ever written.
The Bible is full of epic stories about how great God is and how much He loves us. And the Bible teaches us the right way to live.
Okay, so the Bible is the most amazing book ever written. But you may have some questions like,
Why should we read it?
what's it about?
Well, during our time out here on the safari, we're going to open our eyes to see new and amazing things in and about the Bible that we've never seen before.
For instance, did you know that the Bible is actually a collection of 66 books written by over 40 authors?
And that it actually has 2 main sections, the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Today we're going to focus on why the Bible is the most amazing book ever written. I bet there are some crazy stories that you've never heard before.
Like this awesome story. One day, Moses was walking down the road and saw a bush that was on fire. But even though the bush was on fire, it wasn't being burnt up. When he got close, Moses realized that God was speaking to him through the bush. This story shows us that God will go to great lengths to get our attention and talk to us.
He wants our eyes to be open so we can see who He is and what He wants us to do.
Another amazing story in the Bible is when God told Ezekiel to preach to a valley full of dry bones.
As Ezekiel was preaching, the bones started coming together, and they formed skin, veins, and muscles.
And God turned the dry bones into a full army, ready to fight. Sup, man?
Awesome! This story shows us that God can do anything.
And He wants us to trust Him no matter what He tells us to do, even if it's something crazy like preach to dry bones.
I bet I can top that. Have you heard the story of when Jesus told Peter to go to the lake and open the mouth of the first fish he caught?
Yeah, that was crazy. Inside the fish's mouth was enough money to pay for Jesus and Peter's taxes.
Oh, look, my allowance!
You know, in this story, we see that God is our provider, and He will give us exactly what we need when we need it.
Man, the Bible is the most amazing book.
What's really cool is that the Bible tells us all about who God really is.
And how he wants us to live.
All right, guys, it's time for us to go check out some wildlife. Kwaheri!
That means goodbye.
Look! Over there! I think I
Where?
see something.
Where?
No, wait. Maybe it's over here.
All right.
Okay, so with every new series that we do, we have a memory verse. And this is today's memory verse.
Be good to me, your servant, so that I may live to obey your word.
Open my eyes so that I can see the wonderful things in your teachings. So we want you to remember that verse. We want to see you reciting that verse because when we remember these words, they help us in our walk with God. But also, we have another competition for you this time around, don't we?
Wait, don't forget, that is Psalm 119, verses 17 to 18.
It is.
You might want to know that.
So we have another competition for you. Earlier, we talked about our favourite Bible verses, and we want to know what yours are. So you can craft it, draw it, sing it, dance it, say it, whatever you want to dance it. Yeah.
And how do you dance a Bible verse?
It's a Bible story. David danced. Maybe they'll dance like David danced. So we want you to tell us your favourite Bible story through a creative way. Submit it to us through photo or video, and we will have a prize for the winner at the end of this series. So make sure you get on that. So it has been so good seeing you again this week. We look forward to catching up with you next week for session 2 of our Safari series.
And look out for the lions. See ya.
Bye.
Open my eyes so I can see the wonderful things you have for me. Open my eyes so I can be all that you have planned for me. Head up, head down. Arms to the sky, arms to the ground. Come on now, spin around. Stop. Monkey with it. Open my eyes so I can see the wonderful things you have for me. Open my eyes so I can be all that you have planned for me. Head up, head down. Arms to the sky, arms to the ground. Come on now, spin around. Stop. Monkey with it. Head up, head down. Arms to the sky, arms to the ground. Come on now, spin around. Stop. Monkey with it.